Hello, I'm Jane, I'm the Cornish Knitter and welcome to my channel. I really need your help because I would love to create more series of top 10 videos and I really would like your input into what those look like. Also, there's lots of new subscribers on the channel and I would really like to sort of see if you'd like to ask me any questions and find out a little bit more about me, give you a quick update on my makes and on our retreat, which happened back in September with Selma of Little Big Knits. As I said, my previous video, those top 10 mindless knits, were completely voted for by you and I so enjoyed putting it together and I think you enjoyed it too. So thank you for all the amazing comments, and people have submitted a whole host of other pattern ideas as well for their favourite mindless knits. And some people had knitted all the same ones that I had on that video, and it's just been amazing to see the response. And I would really love to create a series of top 10 videos, but not my choices, because mine are mine choices. Obviously I've got experience from being in the shop and helping other people with patterns, but I would really love it if you would help me craft what that top 10 series looks like and the patterns that are in it. So it feels much more about our shared experience rather than me sort of deciding what I think you should watch. And you've got such vast experience. Everybody that I speak to has their own sort of ideas, and there are some really experienced knitters and there are some real beginners that are really looking for some tips as well. So the more experienced people can help those too. The mindless knits was a really good video to put together. I really, as I said, enjoyed doing it, and most of those knits I'd actually, or crocheted, that I'd actually done myself. So it was really great to be able to see that I was in line with an awful lot of you, but I did learn about an awful lot of new patterns as well. So my Ravelry favourites, as always, has grown after submitting those after reading the comments that you all popped onto the mindless knits one. But what I'd really like to do is think about, if you were to have like top 10 videos of your favorite pattern choices, are there themes that would be a really good one that you would find beneficial or you feel that you could contribute to? So for example, you know, a lot of people on the mindless knits one commented that they were complete beginners, and would these patterns be suitable for complete beginners, or that they were beginners but had never thought about knitting a top-down sweater, for example, because obviously the ranunculus and obviously the love note were both on that video. And it just got me thinking about, you know, is it worth thinking about a video which talked about our favourite patterns for, and the top 10 comes from your choices, not my choices, but like the favourite patterns that we all have. If we were going to tell a beginner, you know, help them to knit their first sweater, what pattern would you recommend? You know, I do it a lot in the shop, but I'd be really interested to know what yours are. Or if you were going to knit a shawl, for example, what's your favourite shawl pattern? Or colour work, you know, what's your favourite colour work pattern? Or accessories, your mittens or hat patterns. The list is endless. Your favourite knitting hacks, your favourite crochet projects. But as I said, I don't want to shape those. I want you to help me shape them. So my thinking is that if we did a little series, which I'm going to create a little hashtag, which I'm looking at what I created because I did come up with an idea. I have got it in my notes, which is hashtag top 10 suggestions. So if you put in the comments below, what series of top 10 or favourite patterns would you like to see? Not what your favourite pattern is, but what topics would you like me to cover? And each time we cover one, I'll do a video, ask you what your favourite patterns are that fall within that category. And then, me being me, I will get a spreadsheet, load it all in and work out what the top 10 favourite ones were. And I think that would be a great way of us as a community actually sharing our knowledge and experience and showcasing some of the patterns that we might never have heard of as well. I've got quite an extensive knowledge, but goodness me, it's obvious that you guys and your comments that there is a vast number, isn't there? And I thought what a fun thing to be able to do is sort of do that. So as I said, it's just some ideas. Favourite beginner's pattern, favourite beginner top-down sweater, favourite sweater pattern could be one, colour work, shawls, socks, accessories. You just tell me what you'd like me to create some of those videos about, and then we'll reach out, or then I'll reach out to you guys and ask you underneath that category heading what your favourite patterns are, and share the outcome, which I think would be a really fun thing to do, and I hope you do too. The other thing is from that video last time, I've gained probably about 3,000 new subscribers, and some of you may not know me or know much about me, and I thought it might be quite a good time to do a Q&A session and think about, is there anything you would like me to answer? That could be something about me personally. Most things aren't off limits, as people that have watched me for a while know. I'm fairly open and honest about life on here. I try to be as authentic as I can be. Or it could be about knitting, or it could be about my business and the shop, or where I live. I just thought it might be a nice way for people to get to know me, because, you know, I do obviously run a knitting business and shop, but I haven't always done that. I've had other experiences work-wise as well. And also, you know, I've got some life experiences under my belts, as many of you I know have too. So if you've got any questions, that's my other hashtag. So if you pop in the comments, hashtag Q&A, I'll be able to pull them out, and I'll have a look at what the most popular questions are, and maybe do a Q&A video, or just a feedback what some of you wanted to know. And yeah, don't be afraid to ask. If I don't want to answer, I won't. But as I said, I'm fairly open. I'm a fairly open book. I think that's the best way to be. And if I can answer honestly, I will do. So 2 things. What top 10 series of videos would you like to see? What sort of topics? And have you got any questions that you would like me to answer about any aspect of my business, my knitting, or my life? Happy to go ahead and do that. So a little bit of knitting content really. Last time I spoke to you, I can't remember, gosh, it seems ages ago since I've done like a knitting update. I haven't done masses of knitting. What have I finished? I finished, well, this little, I want for the shop as well, for coming up to Christmas, I wanted to just create a few things that were just easy pick up and go kits or projects, and just experiment a bit. These aren't all online yet, but watch out, they will be. But this is the sea breeze shawl that many of you have purchased their pattern, which is on our website, and you'd seen it before. It's a much bigger version, done in 4-ply, and it's a super easy little shawl. But I wanted to do a little shawlette version of it, and this is it. And this is done in a DK yarn. So I think I only use one 50-gram ball for this actually, but you could use 2. And I just followed the pattern, increasing until I got halfway, and then decreased for the other half. But I quite like these small little kerchief type shawls, because I can wear them to add just a little bit of colour to, you know, this is the shop bought sweater, but you know, it's a neutral colour. If I have that just against my face on its own, I do always look a little bit washed out, because I'm quite pale skinned naturally. So this was one, and then this isn't blocked at all. Then I got into, well, if I did 2 balls, and this pattern is called, so She Hunting Around. I know it's called the Low Tide pattern, and I will put below who the designer is. I can't remember. I thought I'd brought it over with me, but I haven't. But this needs blocking, but I've literally just cast it off. But this is a lovely little pattern, very easy repeat on this. So triangular again, quite a shallow. Now she, in her pattern, the designer, I think it was about 280 meters, probably about 300 yards of yarn. I just had 2 balls of Blacker Swan in DK, and so I used that, and that was 220 meters. So all I did is follow the pattern again to the increase till I nearly used up my first ball of yarn, and then did the decreases. And although it's not blocked, I do again quite like the size of this, because I will be able to tie this one at the front like that, and it'll be quite a nice one to wear. I just like them for a little pop of colour. Need to sew in on the ends as well. But yeah, just 2 balls of DK, or 100 grams of DK, because the balls I used were 50 grams. But I got that out of 220 meters, about 35 yards of yarn. And I just think they're a nice little gift. Super quick to knit up. Tiny little bit of cable and lace, which made it interesting, but really easy to memorize. And I really enjoyed doing that, to the point that actually I'm going to knit it in, another one, that colour too. So I thought I'd do it again, or I might do a Porthleven scarf in that, just as a super easy one. What I found in the shop is that a lot of people like the sea breeze shawl, and like our hat pattern as well. People like simple projects. They don't always want to get their teeth into something big and meaty, and these have done really well. And so I just wanted to show that you don't have to use sort of your yarn on big projects, and it makes it more affordable too if you don't have to use masses of yarn. And you know, gift knitting season is well underway, isn't it? If you're knitting for people for Christmas, you're probably in the midst of, you know, knitting everything that you want to knit. I'm not doing that this year, but I am knitting for the shop, which is always something. So Blacker Swan is the yarn. I love this yarn. It's a Falkland Island Merino. They do it in 4-ply and in DK. This is DK, and these 3 colours, we will have kits in the shop coming up in the next couple of weeks if you are interested. But if not, Blacker sell it on their website too. So that's one thing I've been doing. Also, the sock club we run, those of you that followed me for a while know that I have a sock subscription service, and it was our September box. And as always, if we do a pattern to their in-house patterns, we develop boxes often with yarn dyers and look at putting in a colourway which we think suits the pattern. Sometimes they'll be bespokely dyed for us, and we use different yarn bases to create the sock, plus other things go in the box. And then I do video tutorials, and we have a social element to the club too. But September's because here in the UK, and I think lots of places around the world, it's been fall or autumn, and the leaves have been absolutely stunning. So they are sort of golden and amber and russet and red, and yeah, starting now with the winds to fall down. But the design we did, this one was called the Red Oak at Rose Mullion. Rose Mullion is, in fact, I'm looking at it over there. It's a headland just opposite Falmouth near St Maur's. So this was a sort of leaf pattern, oak leaf pattern, traditional sort of heel flap and gusset with a twisted rib cuff. But it was quite a tricky pattern because there was quite a bit of cable work in here, sort of this bit, keep on changing direction. So I decided to create and somebody said they don't like easier, and I totally get it, a less challenging or a simpler way of doing it. And keeping the sort of idea, I just created one that had the berries, the bobbles that you see everywhere, but kept that sort of reverse stocking stitch and the stems that came. So the sock is exactly the same in structure, but the pattern is a slightly simpler one to do. And if you don't like having to concentrate all the time, perhaps I call it something about, oh, what is it where you don't have to concentrate so much? Mindless? No. Anyway, whatever. So the 2 pairs of socks, and actually this yarn was Blueface Leicester. It's the Nene by River Knits, and I got 2 full pairs of socks. I'm a size UK size 5, European size 38, I think that is, and I got 2 pairs of socks out of 100-gram skein of yarns. Pretty impressed with that. So the socks were something else that I've been working on. Also been having a go at hand dyeing, learning to hand dye. I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with Falmouth University. They've allowed us to use their professional dye studio, and they within that is a really sort of professional setup for the students. And in the school holidays, they're allowing me and a couple of others in with me to help me to dye some specific yarns for specific projects. And one of them, and it's a very similar colour to that one, this was one we dyed back in the summer, and again on a Blueface Leicester background, but I hope you can see there it's sort of got a really good, it's not a flat colour at all. And this is part of a knit along that I'm doing for our flock members, our online community. And this is called Low Tide too. I will check the other scarf and pop it underneath where I talk about it. But this is the, terrible, my printing is not great, the Low Tide shawl by Rachel Ilsley. And we chose it as a knit along on the flock because the construction is quite interesting. You start off with a provisional cast on, a crochet cast on, and then you knit the center panel, and then you knit the wings that come out of it and you pick up from an I-cord edging. The lace pattern in itself is not difficult, and you can do it in 3 sizes. You can do it in 1, 2 or 3 skein sizes, and it's a 4-ply pattern. The designer uses 3.5mm needles on it, but having done swatches, a number of us are finding that actually we need to go down a couple of needle sizes. So having done my swatches, I'm actually going to use a 3mm needle. Going to take me longer to do, but this is what this yarn was for. And we've dyed up, which I'll show you in another video, a sock set for a Christmas sock knit along, and also we've got a spring knit along planned, which we dyed up the yarn for. So that's sort of plain coloured. So all we can do at the university really is solid colours or semi-solid colours. But really enjoyed that. It was 2 intense days, and I've got another 2 days coming up at the end of this month, at the end of October. And then in my kitchen, we had a go at just acid dyeing, just using a convection hob, you know, one of those catering trays and some acid dyes. And this was the colourway that I came up with. Sort of just a nice, I sort of quite liked it. I thought it would make a nice spring sort of shawl. So that's just on a normal sock base. And then on Tuesday, myself and Nikki, who works a lot with us of Comfort Road Knits, we went down to Yarny Octopus, who are down in Penzance, a little way down from us, because they had kindly offered to teach us in their professional dye kitchen how to do some of the sort of hand-dyed variegated dyes that you probably are more familiar with. I haven't got them all back here because some of them are still drying, but these were 2 of the colourways that I worked on. So this was based on sort of a wisteria sort of colourway. Obviously it needs to be skeined up at some point. It's nearly dry. I would have skeined it, but it's still very slightly damp. But hopefully you can see the sorts of colours I'm going to get here. Really loved that one. I really enjoyed making that one. So we learned all about the techniques, the chemicals, the whole process really. So we had a full day, and this was another one that I did. So this has got different, like a dark gunmetal grey blue, a brighter blue into a sort of stony brown. And again, I had a picture in my head. So the purpley one was wisterias, and this one was more about stormy seas, Cornwall in winter time. So that's what that's going to look like. So really enjoyed doing those, with a view really to maybe dyeing small batches of my own yarn as a Cornish knitter, but for kits, particularly for knit-alongs in the flock and maybe here on YouTube, and just doing bespoke sort of yarn that goes with that. But I had a great time, really enjoyed it. And if you've ever have the opportunity to go and learn to dye yarn, it's just great to have a bit of fun with. We've done one which is a really luminous yellow with green spots on, which is a bit different. And yeah, a really sort of tealy, sort of greeny colour. And what was the other one we did? Oh, we did a pistachio one as well, which I'm really looking forward to seeing as it dries. So yeah, so that's what we've been doing with our yarn dye. And then after the last mindful knitting sort of I talked about the half and half wrap, which I've never knitted, and when there was all the hype about it and everybody was knitting, I was like, why are people so hooked on that? It's a square, how can you wear that as a wrap? But after seeing how people responded to my call out for what's their favourite mindful knit, that one came up really frequently, as did the muscle burr hat. And apologies for anybody that was offended that I didn't say muscle burr correctly. Hopefully I've got it this time. And I totally get that, because living in Cornwall, so many people pronounce Cornish names, town names, differently, shall I say, to how a local person would pronounce it. So totally get why people would sort of call me out on it, but hopefully I've said it right. A lot of people obviously said, oh, I needed to knit a muscle burr hat, and maybe I will for the shop, but not for me because I don't wear hats. But I did cast on a half and half wrap, mainly because I'd already got the yarn for it, and I thought I'd ordered it 2-3 years ago from Pearl Soho. So I thought, well, I'll cast it on, and we've just bought a camper van, so I did think that I could have a knitting project that was a really simple one that I could have in the camper van that I could just pick up at any time, not have to worry about where I was in the pattern. Perfect mindless knit. And I have to say, I got quite addicted to knitting it to such an extent, there we are, to such an extent that I have virtually finished it. How much? Where is it? So I've just got that much left to go. I chose to make the other half stripy just because I thought I'd get a bit bored just with plain cream. I still don't think it's an ideal wrap shape. It's the wrong shape, but it makes quite a nice lap blanket. And I thought I can put it in the camper van or put it over, fold it on a chair, and people wanted something to keep warm, it would be ideal. But it has been the perfect project to just pick up and work with when you just want something, you know, first thing in the morning, or if it's in the evening, you've had a full-on day and you just think, actually, I don't want to have to focus on anything, I just knit forward and back. The only thing is the wrap and turn in the middle, but once you've done it a couple of times, that's easy. And I've enjoyed it so much that I did have, when I originally purchased, I actually purchased another colourway at the same time. Ooh, that's really looking messy, isn't it? It's all come untangled. Yeah, so I'm going to do one in those two colours, but I've got one of the cream left, so I'm going to do more stripes this time and more bold blocks of colours and put the cream in as well, because I think that would be more interesting. As I said, I knitted the smaller, well, there's two sizes of the wrap. I knitted the smaller of the two. I don't really want to knit the big one, but I'm sure I will find a use for it. And I've just enjoyed the process, which I think is probably just as important. When I want my hands to be busy, but I don't want to have to exert any effort into what I'm knitting, it's been a perfect one. So yeah, I cast on after that video and very nearly finished it. The only other thing I've been working on is, again for the shop really, but is the Benji bears. So this is a pattern. I've done 4 of these in different colours. This is a pattern by Crochet Objet. Again, I'll pop them down below. They are for a super soft and squishy crochet bear, amigurumi crochet for anybody that doesn't know. And then she does have patterns, and I didn't bring the one with the other cardigan pattern, but she does have patterns for the bears too. These are done in 4-ply. We love these, like a little Breton pattern. It has got safety eyes, but obviously if you were making them for a child under 3, you could just embroider the eyes on. But they are super quick to make. I've made them out of Kremke Soul Reborn, their chunky cotton yarn, which is a recycled yarn. But we're going to have 5 in the shop, and we're going to create a window display around Teddy Bear's Picnic, which we think is going to be a bit fun for winter and Christmas time. And one of them's having a Christmas jumper done in sort of like this, but with a Christmas design on. But yeah, they're super cute. Really loved doing them. And yeah, children come in the shop and want to cuddle them, want to take them away. So if you've got a little one in your life that you want to knit for, these would make a perfect little gift for them. So do think about having a go at them if you are a crochet fan. The final thing I was just gonna catch you up on is that back in September, last part of September, we run retreats down here in Falmouth in Cornwall, predominantly knitting retreats, but next year we are going to do a big crochet retreat as well. But back in September we ran one, and we invited Selma of Little Big Knits. If you don't follow Selma on YouTube, why not? She's great. Go and have a look at what she's up to, what she's making. She's based in Canada, and she travelled over and she did a 3-morning workshop around getting the right fit for your knits. She travelled with so many wool samples. When I picked her up from the railway station and saw her case, I thought, my goodness, she's bought a lot of stuff. But when she unpacked it all and was using it to demonstrate fit and how you get the right fit and how the same pattern can look totally different, it was really useful. But we had people from all over the world come. Some brought husbands because they were travelling and making it part of a much bigger holiday. And the weather really played its part. We had stunning weather for the whole 5 days that they were here. They had an amazing time. We did so much. We went gin tasting. We went out for beautiful meals. We went for walks. They got plenty of knitting time and chatting time. And in the evenings, we did things like show and tell, showcasing your favourite knit, your biggest mistake. We did a little fashion show. So it was just a great fun event. And I met so many lovely ladies, many of whom I've met either via the flock, the online community, or people that have followed me here on YouTube and have signed up to be on our retreat waiting list. And that is, we will be publishing next year's retreats at the end of November. So if you are interested in coming on a retreat, do have a look at our website, the Stitches and Cream website, and the retreats page on there. But we will be changing this year to a new website, but at the moment you can sign up to the newsletter on Stitches and Cream. If you just click on, you know, notify me when the retreats come out. We've got like an early bird announcement for people that are really interested in coming along, so they'll get first notification before we put them on general release. So we will be running 4 next year, 4 retreats of different varieties. Some will be much more relaxed and it's just about bringing your own projects and sort of meeting new people, and others will be a little bit more structured with a tutor as well. But all of them will be fun, all of them will be great company, you'll have great food, you'll meet lovely people. So if you are interested, go on the Stitches and Cream website for now and click on the retreat page link to be signed up to the early notification. But I thought I'd pop a little video in of Selma and I just having a chat out in the sun outside the place we were staying at. It's just a short video, just capturing what we got up to in the week so that you could get a flavour for the sorts of things that we did and how it went, which I thought you might enjoy.
Hello, it's Selma from Little Big Knits.
Hello.
And Jane from the Cornish Knitter. We're here together in Falmouth. We've just coming towards the end of a 4-night retreat here in Falmouth, which Selma has been teaching. Would you like to sort of share what you've been teaching?
I have been teaching a sweater modification workshop that I have given before. It's about a 6-hour workshop, and we talk about different types of modifications that you can do. We look at yarns and understanding your yarn a little bit. We look at swatching and ease. We look at measuring ourselves and at the different types of modifications one can make to make a sweater fit a little better.
And everybody that's taken part has said what a wonderful time they've had, and they've learnt so much. There's been lots of laughter, lots of it started easy and then it got a little bit more technical, so lots of sort of thinking towards the 3rd day, I think, happened.
Yeah, yesterday and today.
Yeah, but people have loved it, and you can hear the conversations, and now they're sort of saying, I don't just have to look at the pattern and think I can't do that because I can't do that pattern because it won't suit me. They're looking at it and thinking, oh, I could do this or I could do that.
Yeah.
So I think that's, you know, really opened up a whole scope of opportunity and potential for people.
It's really about demystifying sweater making so that you can make a sweater fit yourself rather than you trying to fit the sweater.
Yeah. So it's been really fantastic. What has your experience been of coming to Falmouth? Because it's your first
What
time
a
here.
beautiful place. Honestly, we've also been graced with very
Beautiful.
nice
As
weather.
you can see, we've got sunglasses
We're
on.
out here behind our sunglasses. It's really a beautiful place. I did not expect it to be so beautiful. You're surrounded by water. It's very hilly, which has it's been great for walking. But it just feels like such a lovely place. Lots of green, lots of water, beautiful houses, a lovely high street, great food. It's been, honestly, I'm like, can I move here?
So some of the things we've done, we've gone to a local garden, didn't we? Walked down to a private beach, so some people sort of joined us on that. And then last night we went to a local craft gin distillery called Love Day, which was fabulous.
It really was.
And people got to try, was it 5 gin? No, 4 gins.
4
and 3
gins and
rums.
4. Well, there was a 3rd rum that was sort of an experimental one, but it was really formally 4 gins and 2 rums. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of learnt how the gin was, which I learnt an awful lot.
It was
about.
very informative.
Yeah, and it's run by 2 women who set it up during COVID as an idea. They were both chefs before, and now they are going great guns. And yeah, it was a love. And then followed by fish and chips. On Tuesday night, we also went to a local restaurant called Indie Dog for a lovely meal.
A lovely meal. Yeah.
Yeah, so all of us. Here we've got some people have brought their husbands with them, and they've been able to go out because the weather's been so beautiful. They've been able to go out and sort of do their own thing during the day, and I don't think there's been a huge amount of knitting done.
We've done some knitting, but it's been great. Actually, there's been plenty of time to relax too, I think. It's been lovely, really lovely, and the food has been just so delicious.
And this afternoon we're sort of going for afternoon tea, a traditional English afternoon tea at one of the hotels. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy that too, and a cultural experience for you.
Yeah.
So our retreats have been. My sister's just arrived. Our retreats have been running for a little while now, so this is the first time we've done one like this, and it's been our first one bringing sort of a nice sort of guest workshop lead in, and it's been an amazing experience, and we've really loved having Selma here teaching everybody. What do you think about the ladies that have taken part?
Oh, it's been such a lovely group. It's been honestly so enjoyable, and lots of great experience in the room, and good questions and laughter, as you've said, and it's been lovely. And retreats are such a wonderful way to get to know other people and build community.
Yeah. So no, a whole mix of people. I'd say there's some inexperienced knitters in there as well.
And a real mix, I think. I'm sure there have been people who've been able to just nod and think, great, I'm doing the right thing, and then others who are learning a lot, and it's a real mix.
Yeah, so if you are interested in our retreats, do look out for them in 2026. You can sign up to the early bird newsletter, and we're going to try and persuade Selma to come back at some time too.
You won't have to twist my arm very much.
Can't promise this weather, mind you.
That's true.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So just to recap, this video really is about trying to sort of get your involvement, get you involved in helping me create a series of videos around your top 10 favourites under different categories. As I said, it could be your top 10 beginner knits, it could be your top 10 shawl patterns, but I want you to suggest what would be the topics that would be the most popular ones for you, and then I will create videos based on your feedback around each. So each time we pick a topic, I'll do a little video asking you to comment on what your favourite shawl pattern is, for example, and then from all your responses I'll compile a top 10 video that matches that with your suggestions, not mine. And we'll talk through the patterns and the yarns used and why you found them the most popular. But that's in the future. What I want now is to find out what topics you would like for that series. And then also, if you've got any questions you'd like to ask me, if you're new to the channel and you want to find out a little bit more about me without going back through the videos to find a little bit more, please post those questions below with the hashtag Q&A, and I will do my best in a follow-up video to just answer those questions. Maybe bring my knitting with me and you can have a knit and a chat with me about what they are. Maybe I'll even do it as a live event, I don't know, but my intention is for you to get to know me a little better over a sort of a bit of knitting and a cup of tea, basically. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll try not to leave it too long before the next one, but please do comment below on those two things, either a question about me or anything to do with my knitting or anything else, and also your suggestions for the next video in the top 10 series. So thank you for listening. I will see you all again soon, and enjoy your knitting or crochet and whatever you're doing. Bye.